Well, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by advanced trading. Well, we're going to kick it off and get back to the basics. We're an agriculture firm that loves finance. I don't know if you know, we had an election and we had some results. Did things go your way? Drop a comment down below. But first, before we talk a little politics, let's talk about what we love to talk about corn. Brother Joe, take us to LaSalle Street and I'll read off the quotes. Ring the bell, fellas. D's corn up 3. I repeat, D's corn up 3. Turn that frown upside down. Markets are moving. Jan beans down 1 on the way up. 18 cents off the low. Meal down 30. Soybean oil up 82. Border trade wheat, KC wheat, hard red wheat up 1 to down 2 across the board. Let's take it to the meats and then we'll go to LaSalle Street. Live cattle up 100. Feeders up 200. While I'm getting that, Brother Joe or Rick, take us to LaSalle Street and see how we're doing there. I'm going to get this, or to Wall Street. Thank you. I'm going to get this pumped out on the old social medias, and we'll go from there. Oh, Wall Street, that great street. Dow Jones up 1,200. Well off its highs of being up 1,400 a little bit ago. S&P up 106. NASDAQ up 400. Here's where it gets interesting. Adult Swim only. 2s, 5s, 10s, 30s. Interest rates absolutely exploding. You're probably going to hear, not probably, you are going to hear me talk a lot about this. I actually know a lot about this because I spent an incredible amount of time in the 10-year pit at the Board of Trade. Interest rates explode overnight. To give you an example, bonds were down close to 3 points. We consider here a 1-point move a big deal. Now, another shocker, and if you're a gold bug, you're having a bad day. Gold down 80, silver down 160, Dr. Copper in the hospital down 21, crude oil down 75. That was down a lot more last night. Natural gas up a little bit. Biggest winner of the election night. The biggest winner. Breaking news. Ring the bell. Got him on line 1. Hello, Bitcoin up 5,500 new all-time highs. Bring them in the show. We're going to have a good one. Hey, if you're out there, tell a friend about this. Retweet it, copy, paste it. This is free. We do it for you. I'm running on 1 hour of sleep, and
I think
I'd
I
like
got
to thank our sponsor, Celsius.
I think I got you beat. I think I got 3 to 4 hours of sleep, but I was up early and stayed up late. Well, Tommy, in my opinion, the American people have spoken, and they spoke pretty definitively. We're going to have Donald Trump elected as a new president. First time that Republican has won the popular vote since 2004, and only the second time in history that we have a non-repeating candidate. The only one that's ever done it was Grover Cleveland. So,
It's interesting.
historic day, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, historic night. I will tell you personally, I put out an ATI Pro Media Premium, and I was pretty convinced last Friday, for so many reasons, and I could explain it off air, why I didn't think the Republicans can win, and why I thought this was the vote. This vote was going to be decided by women, and in a interesting way, they say, these are the people on TV, and they have an incredible amount of data, that this vote was influenced by so many people of so many different backgrounds, and to watch. To see a Muslim person be interviewed or a Jewish person. One of the biggest things they say from that the Harris campaign should have picked the governor of Pennsylvania. And instead she went with Walz. And many people say that was a huge mistake, but there was a lot of mistakes made. And the number one greatest mistake made was this. Whether it's advanced trading or president of the United States, you need to listen to what your customers want. Let me repeat that. The customer is always right. And we, with our vote, whether it be myself, my wife, my 2 daughters, who were only 12 and 14 the last election, had a chance to vote, and they had a chance to express their right to vote. And with that, we have results. But the bottom line is this: whether it's a commodity broker or a presidential candidate, United States, the customer is always right. And the customer last night was the voting public. And they came out in a way, when you see the statistics of how the county breakdowns are, the people have spoken. It may not be what you wanted, but it's what we're going to get. Connor B.
Yeah, well said. I love pretending 10, 15, 20 years from now, how will we look back on this election? My opinion, Tommy, is we'll look back and they will say Joe Biden not stepping down earlier and then trying to shoe in a candidate that did not win a primary election will be looked upon as a huge mistake for the Democratic Party. Now, I think the key is let's start looking forward. I know I am. We're going to talk a lot of politics on this show, but don't forget, right now, markets a little emotional. Corn up on the day, as you quoted. Friday, we have a USDA report. Into the week, we are going to get back to fundamentals. But so
You remember this little place called the Federal Reserve? I think they have a meeting today and tomorrow. And how odd, well, Zero Hedge said a lot of funny things. I'll let you go first. Zero Hedge said, Kashkari, are we still cutting a quarter or half tomorrow? But then what's the funniest thing Zero Hedge said last night? Stage is yours, full screen. It will be a
you don't need to
story.
go full screen. When he said Biden can still run in 2028, right? So maybe we'll see it again. That guy cracks me up. Zero Hedge on Twitter. If you guys aren't following him, you need to be.
No
he puts
shame.
out great stuff.
Ring the
too.
bell.
So
Ring the bell.
I got a question, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
Because 2 days ago, our Rick down in the bottom, I asked him this question as I saw a poll that came out of Iowa that showed Harris was leading in the polls. We saw soybeans up on the day. What happened to that poll? Because it was definitively not going to go blue. It went red almost immediately. And so it's just got me scratching my head when we start looking at these polls that came out. I can't remember who put that one out.
It was someone from the Des Moines Register, I believe. I don't have the specific name. And if you just Google Iowa poll, it very much affected the markets. I think Joe Vaclavic did his whole Monday show leading off with that. I didn't watch it, but I noticed his headline, and I think he was referring that. There we go, right there. Pollster J.N. Selzer. I'll be reviewing data after Iowa poll misses big Trump win.
Yeah.
The fake news is real, and I truly believe, and this is coming from my opinion, someone who owns a media company, someone who can produce media, whether it be at Advance or somewhere else. I truly believe this right here. Traditional liberal media last night died. Podcast and live streaming is the future. TG, that's me. It's hard to come back. It's hard. Real quick to interrupt. I spent 8 hours last night watching MSNBC. That's more MSNBC I consumed last night than in the last 8 years. Now, Gina wouldn't let me put it on the big TV. She said, do not put that on the big TV. But I had 4 laptops going, TVs and everything else. And I found it fascinating to watch CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. That was enough for me, those 3 right there. And then watch Twitter. And the old Lucy, you got some explaining to do. If you're in the media business and you want someone to run $100 million ad campaign and you're putting out garbage like that for 6 months or a year, and you're running around calling people some pretty strong names, goes back to wartime in Germany, very strong names. So you're telling an ex-president who has Jewish grandkids and you're referring to him as some strong rhetoric, that's some tough sledding. And now they got to come back from that. And personally, I don't think they come back. Mr. Rick texted us late last night. He said Dan Bongino had 500,000 people watching him. Megyn Kelly was going last night. There's some stranger ones too who were going. They're a little out there. Alex Jones. And all types of people have platforms like this. They can hit play and they have an audience. You guys laugh and you're going to laugh, and I don't care. Go back to when I watched that live broadcast of Cat Turd and John Rich at that Nashville bar. Cat Turd, and it's important too because he was a big supporter of the squirrel that magically died over the weekend. But Cat Turd and John Rich were huge Trump supporters. Kid Rock, the golfer, is it Daly? John Daly. And there were some people really putting it out there, but nobody put it out there like Elon Musk. Go ahead, Connor. I do have something I want to read from a friend of mine posted something on Twitter. Go ahead.
Yeah. where are we going to go from there? I guess now the other key, we talked all about the president's election, but guess what? The Republicans have flipped the Senate. Rick, nod. I think we've got a shot at flipping the House. That's not confirmed yet, correct? Am I right there? Yeah. And so, okay, he's buffering pretty bad. But
That's
so
okay.
here I
Can I read
am.
this quote real quick from a friend. This is not me.
Go.
This is from a friend. Very well written. Elon Musk is the craziest gambler in the world. If Trump loses, he loses 250 billion gone in jail. Trump wins, the first trillionaire goes to Mars. Any other billionaire would fly under the radar. This guy is really something special. I had a feeling when I was watching in Nashville on Monday night when Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan, I said something might have changed. And then Joe Rogan then backed President Trump. And
Yep.
there is no way we would be where we are today doing what we're doing today if it wasn't for Elon Musk. That's more than an opinion. That's a fact. Someone bought a $10 billion company and paid $40 billion. Who has an extra $30 billion to go buy the right to free speech, Connor?
Yeah, absolutely. But House is still unconfirmed. That's what I thought. But now I'm excited talking in our world in agriculture, right? We have it. I'm excited. That's the right word to use, to see, right? Trump has the opportunity to put his money where his mouth is. We can see where how this is going to go, right? And I think we got to talk about the price action right now, Tommy, because the term tariff, right? I'd be lying if I said it didn't scare me. We saw soybeans down what? Did they hit down 20 March, Jan soybeans?
Yeah, I'll give you a quote. Jan low last night was 982.
Mm-hmm.
We settled at 1001 3/4. That by my Spidey math would be they were down 19 3/4, 20 for easy math. They were down 4 right now. Corn's up 3. Incredible price action today.
Yeah. Corn turning positive on the open. Very much surprised me, but it's an emotional trade, right? We're trading absolute rumors. We're trading what could be. We've got a long way to go in terms of fundamentals. And I got to be honest with you, Tommy, I'm excited to get back to that, right? I like talking politics. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad not to see a political ad on my feed anymore. And now we can move forward as a country and keep going.
Yeah, let's do that by giving away a couple of these. If you're out there and you love ATI Pro Media, hit us up, info at ATI Pro Media, giving away 2 flags. Remind me, I still have 2 more to send. I got a little list here and some yellow note cards of some people have asked for flags in the past. I need to get those flags out. People will work on that today. But if you want a free American flag, regardless of who you voted for, we won't ask. Info at ATI Pro Media, 1-855-737-FARM. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are we going from here?
Let's talk about interest rates a little bit. Super important.
Yeah, and I got something
super important. Fed meeting tomorrow. They say they're going to lower interest rates. Last night, interest rates went up 0.25%. So the Fed's going to lower. So we have the Fed, and pretty important, lowering rates. The real market, the Chicago Board of Trade, the cash bond market collapsed last night. Speaking of cash bond market, we'll see how smart many of you are. But there was a man on stage last night at 3:34 in the morning, and his name was Howard Lutnick, and he is the CEO and president of Cantor Fitzgerald. For those of you old enough to remember, Cantor Fitzgerald had 1 or 2 floors on the World Trade Center, and he lost hundreds of employees. Somehow Howard Lutnick's spun into the Trump campaign here in the last few months, and I'd be very interested to see what he's doing there, why he's doing there. But you talk about the bond market, and you talk about Trump filling up these positions, whether it be Treasury Secretary, USDA Ag Secretary. We could touch on that with RFK. But Mr. Rick, if you could Google Howard Lutnick, Cantor Fitzgerald, what's he doing spinning around the market? I mean, you go back all the way to 2001 when the planes went through the building, and he literally was on live TV crying, saying, "I can't make payroll, and I have to make payroll and pay the wives and husbands of all my dead employees." I'll never forget that. And I met him in person. He is a very kind man. When I met him, I was literally going up an elevator at the Board of Trade, and I looked at him. I go, "You're Howard Lutnick," and he was super kind. So with that, Trump has the opportunity here. President Trump, 47, 45, has the opportunity here to surround himself by better people. One of the things he stated, because he watched Vice President Harris, when they asked her, "What mistakes have you made?" She did more ums and ahs than you and I and Brady combined on our first ATI Pro Media ever. He said, I quote, "I didn't surround myself with good quality people when I was elected." Truth be told, he didn't think he can get elected because going into that, there was a 99% chance Hillary Clinton was the next uh, president. So with that, Trump has a way better transition team. Quote from RFK Jr. this morning: the reason he started hanging out with Trump a month or two ago is because Trump promised him, "You're already on my transition team. I can't wait to maybe get elected to put you on a team. I need you on there now because we need to move when we get elected." Good news, bad news. If you did see the markets correct a lot later, or maybe stocks were lower on the day, is President Trump's going to have a lot of work to do. And North Korea is not stupid. They know who's in office right now. By the way, do you know who has to officially certify the election going into inauguration? You know who's going to sign off and say, yes, President Trump is the 47th president? The Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is going to have to sign off officially, just like Mike Pence did, that President Donald J. Trump will be the 47th president of the United States.
Next inauguration ceremony will be Monday, Jan 20th, 2025.
Well, buckle up, Buttercup. I don't know what that means, but I do know this. You hear stuff that someone said, if I was North Korea, now would be a great time to mess with Taiwan. If I was President Xi or anyone who likes to misbehave, we have an administration. Do you notice after the garbage comment from President Joe Biden, he disappeared? A sitting president disappeared for 3 days before the election. And there was some irony. I don't know if it was fake news or not, but it was a picture yesterday of Dr. Jill Biden voting in an all red dress, and they said she voted for Trump. That could have been fake news, but I found it another one of those laughing moments. Yes,
hey, I got something good from our from Grain Stats. He's talking about for people that are if you're scared, if you're not happy with the election, he put out a great thing about just
the best, by the way.
Oh my gosh, you got to follow him. Putting on just going back the corn price based on who was in president. What's the correlation? Spoiler alert, there is no correlation. The only thing I take out of that, Tommy, is when George Bush put in the RFS renewable fuel standard, corn exploded. So
We're back
correlation.
To weather. By Sunday, Monday, we'll be back to weather and money flow.
Yep.
Grains have some negative things working against them. The money left the station. There are young traders in New York who are way more jacked about buying Bitcoin and some crazy convoluted thing in crypto. And there's a whole group of people. You think the commodity market's big. You should see the bond market unwinding. When I look, I lost a light here. Hey, let me turn on the lights here.
You go ahead. You said we're going to be back to weather, money flow. The other one, it's going to be demand, right? The whole story. How many articles did I see about we're seeing these good exports because we're seeing that front loading if Trump gets elected, if we see some type of tariffs. And so if we see follow through, right, that's going to be fantastic for grains. Everyone wants to, when we talk tariffs, everyone wants to talk China, right? China soybean market.
Say it right now. China.
The truth is, Tommy, when we're talking about it, the bigger threat is Mexico. If we see some type of trade war with Mexico, right, they are by far and away our number one corn buyer. They were the ones that potentially were front loading on sales, but time will tell, right? Who knows? That's going to be very interesting the next 2 weeks to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about what we're looking at for the USDA report. We got a stellar group going here. We're going to go live at 9. I believe you and Brady are probably going to do the, I don't know what you guys got going. I've been traveling a little bit. We'll have something at 10:45, get those numbers out. And then we have the Bloomington crowd that's going to really give you the deep dive there at, is that 1:30? I'm looking at Mickey's big hand there. It looks like 1:30 after the markets close. Boy, am I tired. Want to talk about premium a little bit? We've had a chance to do some stuff. I was on with Scott the Cow Guy. He set me up for a real nice one yesterday on premium. Scott said, "What are we looking at for the election trade?" We talked about that Des Moines article. He said, "Are polls really moving the soybean market?" And I said, "Yes, they are." And we said, if Trump wins, look at Bitcoin, gold, and everything else. If Trump loses, look at this. The one thing that most people agreed upon, and this came back from Paul Tudor Jones from 3 weeks ago. If you don't know who Paul Tudor Jones is, just Google Paul Tudor Jones net worth. I bet you he's worth a little bit more than you, and most of the people live within 100 miles of you. He said, no matter who wins, we're going to have inflation again. And if you're the American farmer, you may say you don't like inflation, but if you own land, you own tractors, you own bins, and you produce commodities, I think all of your net worth doubled under the last 4 to 6 years due to inflation. So farmers will tell you they hate inflation. They'll also tell you they can't sell grain because they'll end up owing taxes. So what is it? Do you like it or do you not? But the inflation trade is full blown coming back. And that may very well be why it took 12 hours for the markets to digest, calm down. We know the night markets are not, I don't want to say they're not real. They're real, but the big money, big money comes in here when the markets open. And that's, in my opinion, and only my opinion, why corn's up too. Will it stay up too? I don't know. But I'm happy it is up too. So we need to change our thinking and say, what if we have inflation? Number one thing you need to know about what happened last night to a farmer, your operating notes aren't going down much at all. We are going to be at an elevated level of rates for one more year. You know what that means, CB? Store and ignore is still dead. Back to you, my friend.
Yep, absolutely. And so also related to farmers, Brady Huck.
I
He's got
remember
some great
Brady.
yeah, you met him? Yeah, great
Yeah,
guy,
good
great
guy.
guy. Had a birthday Sunday.
Oh, happy birthday, BH.
Senate Agricultural Committee, new Republican leader for Farm Bill, good for farmers, right? Brady, I just want to see a farm bill in place. I think the odds that we get a farm bill in 2024 is something like 10%. We're not going to get it, but yes, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. It's good to see, and we'll save that for another show, maybe a premium, right? What we could see different when we finally get a farm bill. What could we see different from the one previously?
And I'll get Don Wick back here quickly on premium. I might even call him. Speaking of premium, we're going to have the land talker on. We are into November. We got to talk about land prices already. We're going to go right back to South American weather. Premium, we'll have Mick Kerr on talking about weather. So major things from the top that happened since last night. Grains had a big sell-off.
I can think of one major thing. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
The election.
No, that, I mean,
Go
come
ahead.
on,
Go
no
ahead.
big deal. All right. By the way, they were talking last night about how much was spent, and doggone it, I can't think of what it was, but it was how many billions and billions and billions and billions were spent on this election. 8 point something billion. It was a number so big, and then they divided it into every American.
Is that less than 2020 or way more?
I bet you it's more. I bet you Mr. Rick can Google how much money was spent on the 2024 election. In the end,
I'd be interesting to see.
I don't know that any of those ads, I think some of those ads upset people. Here we go. 16 billion. You know, my daughter called me from college and she goes, did you see that ad where Julia Roberts said, if you're a woman, don't tell your husband how you're voted?
I didn't see that one.
No. You know what I saw last night, though? My daughter sent me a picture from college and she was at the bar with a shirt that said, Daddy's coming home. And it was a picture of Trump in front of the White House. And I said, please be safe tonight. I know some of those college kids have a different opinion than you. But she said her and most of her friends voted Republican.
Interesting. I got to tell you, Twitter the day after, some people are so funny, Tommy. Some of these things that they put out, like Biden can still run in 2028. I died laughing.
You up, huh?
It cracked me up. We got any other questions?
Can I say one other thing?
Yes, please do. Go.
There's some billionaire traders who said, and I'll read it. Go ahead, read that headline. I got to get this thing. This is from a guy named Bill Ackman. He's worth billions, and this is what he tweeted.
Load it up. Read this question. Russ,
you read
I feel
it.
like a new man today. Even change my name to promote unity and positivity. Bring back pure capitalism to agriculture. We need less government poking around our farm. This will make us great again. Glad to hear it. Yeah, let's see it,
I can't say this with a straight face. It's probably my last day working here. They're going to pull the plug on the show. Google who Bill Ackman is, and he's one of the most wealthiest Wall Street guys. He's Jewish, and he started supporting Trump early. This comes all the way back to Columbia University riots, and he didn't like the way that went. Big donor, billionaire. And when Columbia University couldn't calm down the disruptions at the school, he got very angry, him and other great donors. Last night, Bill Ackman at 11:37 said at least Peanut did not die in vain. If you know who Peanut the squirrel
Is
is,
it the squirrel?
yes. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. You have billionaires saying stuff like this, and then what you could do with AI, you have this is too much. You got Peanut the squirrel. Look at this, Connor. Peanut the squirrel. Trump. I mean, so
What a world we live in.
When
Tommy.
Gina said, "Why can't you sleep?" I'm like, "And miss all this?"
He's looking at
No
squirrel
way.
memes.
No way. All right. In all seriousness, we got beans on the high, corn moving up, Dow Jones up 1,400. Closing thoughts: interest rates are exploding. By far the biggest thing you need to know: interest rates are exploding. Crude's unchanged. Bitcoin's up 5,000. Markets are moving. What advice can we give farmers? Then we'll get into questions, comments, and then we'll get out of here.
My advice: stay grounded. Right. Markets have changed. Emotions are high, but guess what? It's still the same thing. Your new crop, your 24 new crop, suddenly became old crop. Right. Get that managed. We need to start talking about 2025, the potential. Right. We can talk about all the different potentials. But at the end of the day, we're going to have an update on the fundamentals Friday, USDA report, and then we're going to go from there. So stay grounded, keep managing price risk, defending against price risk, right? Regardless of who won this election. Brady and I said it. If your marketing plan was based on who was going to win this election, spoiler alert, you didn't have a marketing plan.
Yeah, well said. Hey, folks, if you want to get a hold of us, here's how you do it. Go to the Advanced Trading website and say, I want to talk to Tommy, Brady, Joe, someone from Advanced Trading, name, address, email. If you want premium, go ahead. It's $1 a day, $30 a month. We can get you there. Markets are moving. We should be too. We're seeing incredible price action here. Corn's up 2, beans have rallied 20 cents.
Jan beans might go positive, Tommy.
Yeah. One last thing, and I don't have the answer. There was talk a few weeks ago that there was going to be a bill that gave farmers money because of the lower prices. Remember, the Ag CPA, Paul Neiffer, did a great break out of that. A lot of people did break out of that. And we could have possible Trump bucks. What if, I'll leave you all with this. What if he did throw a big tariff with China? What if he cut a massive deal for China to buy our stuff, or Mexico or someone else? This Trump presidency will be much different than the first, because right away on the first, he was immediately hit with all types of things. They call it the Russia hoax, this thing, the laptop. There's talk that Joe Biden might pardon Donald Trump, and that so Donald Trump could pardon Hunter Biden. I mean, we're talking serious stuff, power that only a president has. And I think we move forward and we're ready to do big business. I hope you are too. Want to read this, CB?
Sure. Campaign is a disagreement, and disagreements divide, but an election is a decision, and decisions clear the way for harmony and peace. Well said, George H.W. Bush, after the 98 election. So well said. Right. I think that's the key. Let's start moving forward, right? We'll go from there.
All right. Tommy Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana. Questions, comments, give us a call, 1-855-737-FARM. Emails info@ATI Pro Media. Love to sell you a subscription to premium content. Connor B., Assumption, Illinois. What a wild night. It's not over. We're waiting for results from various states. Questions, comments, did you miss them on the show? Or are you watching the replay? Tell someone about Advanced Trading, the YouTube channel. We love new subscribers. Speaking of new subscribers, I think by the end of the week, the Advanced Trading YouTube channel will have 20,000 subscribers.
Hey, good deal.
So
good
deal. With that, let's close her out. I got to get to work. See you, buddy.
See you.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.